Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Friday morning as I adjust my camera here. A coffee kind of morning. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to continue my look at Deep Purple. Great band you need to listen to. This is the Mark III version of the band. I'll be discussing that and the events around that time period. Before getting everything though, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. It's because of you guys, your likes, your subscriptions, your wonderful, wonderful comments that keep me going, keep me motivated to do this kind of thing, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you to all that have liked and subscribed and left wonderful comments and all that great stuff as I push to 1,000 subs, and I hope to get there soon. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So Deep Purple, Mark III. So during a second concert in 1973 of Japan, concert in Japan, there was still fighting going on between Ritchie Blackmore and Ian Gillan. There always has been for some. I think they're just differences, personality differences, artistic differences, you name it, who knows. But that resulted in Ian Gillan and bassist Roger Glover leaving the band. Right at the point where they were at their peak, the Mark II version, the most successful version of the band. They were at their peak. They just finished Made in Japan. Everything was just flying on all cylinders. And two major players left the band. If they would have been given time to rest, take a break from each other, take a break from touring, recording, it may have been a completely different band, but it may not have been. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But it would be the end of the Mark II version of the band. So this began the Mark III version, and there's a ton of versions of this particular band. In 1973, they hired bassist and vocalist, amazing vocalist, Glenn Hughes, who was with the band Trapeze. And they were just going to continue on as a four-piece band because he's an amazing singer. He could have led the band. Of course, a great bass player as well. But there was also talk at the time of hiring Paul Rogers, who was with Free at the time. But he was just about to start Bad Company. And as much as he wanted to play with Deep Purple, he wanted to continue the Bad Company direction. And hey, good stuff for it because Bad Company was a great, great band. So they found an unknown singer at the time, kind of a smoky, graspy kind of singer in David Coverdale. And he eventually, and thankfully, later on in life, and I'm not going to talk about it now, but he would go on to form Whitesnake, which was another amazing band. All these bands are intermixed between each other. So the band, as a five-piece now, would continue to do major tours through North America. And then in '74, they released the huge, huge album Burn. I have it on both remastered CD, and there's the boys there. And I also have it on vinyl. An amazing album. I love this album, actually. I love the Mark III version. I think they went into a different direction. They weren't as hard and heavy as say, the In Rock version of the Mark II. Between the two singers, they added some funk to the band, which again gave it a different sound. But Burn's a great, great album. It hit number 3 on the UK charts and number 9 in the States. A 1974 release, which was the 8th studio album by the band and the first with the Mark III version of the band. You got the title track Burn, which is just a blistering, no pun intended, blistering track. Might Just Take Your Life, Mistreated, You Fool No One, just amazing. So between Coverdale and Hughes, they brought, again, more funk and soul and blues into the band. And Burn is definitely one of my favorites as far as the list of discography of this amazing band, my favorite band. And amazing stuff. In late 1974, they came out with their second release, Stormbringer, which is even more funkier than Burn is. Just swagger of funk and soul and blues on this one. It's on the Warner Brothers label. Great, fantastic album. I've been listening to this quite a bit lately, and really, really good stuff. You've got the title track, Stormbringer. You also have Lady Double Dealer, You Can't Do It Right, Highball Shooter as well. But unfortunately, Ritchie Blackmore didn't like the direction the band was going. Even though, if you listen to the music, he can play some funk. He could play some funk. And even Glenn Hughes mentioned that in an interview. But original band member and guitarist Ritchie Blackmore would leave the band. If you look at it, fortunately, he went on to form Rainbow, which is a fantastic, fantastic band. But it left a big hole in the band for sure. Again, the original player, original member of the band, and they were left without a great guitarist, and he is an amazing, amazing guitarist. When Ritchie Blackmore left the band, they had two choices of either ending the band or going on to look for another guitarist. Fortunately, they decided to stay. So they looked at Clem Clemson from Humble Pie. They looked at Zach Clemenson from the sensational Alex Harvey Band. Mick Ronson from Spiders from Mars. They even looked at Rory Gallagher. But then they chose Tommy Bolin, an amazing player and vocalist in his own right, who played with Joe Walsh, James Gang, Dr. John. They played with Albert King, played with the band Moxie, also a great solo artist. So they chose Tommy Bolin, who became Deep Purple's newest guitarist. And in 1975, they released Come Taste the Band. Great, great album again. But unfortunately, Tommy Bolin had major issues. This is again on the Warner Brothers label. Had issues with drugs. It's so unfortunate because he was such a great, great player. So you got I Need Love, Love Child, You Keep on Moving. This time around, Drifter. You got Coming Home, Lady Luck, Dealer, and Getting Tighter. There was issues when they would play live. They thought he couldn't keep up with the Ritchie Blackmore style. He could, he just couldn't because he was affected with so much drugs in his system. It just affected his playing. And he was booed, actually, on stage, unfortunately. But it's too bad. It would be the last to feature him because they just couldn't go on with him. And also, in 1976, the band decided to split up. So it would be also the last to feature bassist Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale, vocalist David Coverdale. And unfortunately, it would be the end of the band. It was also the only album, Come Taste the Band, that didn't feature Ritchie Blackmore or Ian Gillan, as they were both part of all the albums up to date, all the 9 albums up to this date. So the band disbanded. Players went on to form Whitesnake, Rainbow, Ian Gillan Band. Glenn Hughes released a solo album. Tommy Bolin released a solo album, Teaser, which I have. It's a great, great album. Amazing stuff. And they would just continue to do their own thing at that time. And then, fortunately, in 1984, they got back together again. The Mark II version got back together again and released this amazing album, Perfect Strangers. This is a remarkable, remarkable album. One of my, I'd say, top 5 albums of the band out of their 19 or 20 studio albums. Definitely top 5. The band was refreshed. It would be the 11th studio album by Deep Purple. Again, it also reformed the Mark II version of the band, which included Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, Roger Glover, Ritchie Blackmore, and John Lord. So Ritchie Blackmore came back from Rainbow. Roger Glover, who was also with Rainbow, came back. Ian Gillan was with Black Sabbath as a lead singer at that brief period of time. John Lord was with Whitesnake, with David Coverdale. Ian Pace was with the Gary Moore Band. So they're all doing their own separate things. And they came back to create Perfect Strangers. And it was a remarkable success. Definitely a remarkable success. And awesome, awesome stuff. And remarkable. So you've got not only the title track, Knocking on Your Back Door, Under the Gun, all kinds of cool tracks on this one. It's just amazing stuff. And then they would release House of Blue Light in 1987. Okay. There's the members there. Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lord, and Ian Pace. Ian Pace, such an underrated player, an amazing, amazing drummer. But this would be the 12th studio album by the band and the 2nd by the reformed Mark II lineup. It would be the 6th and the last album of this lineup, unfortunately. As they got along on Perfect Strangers, they did fantastic. The tension started to rise again between Ian Gillan and Ritchie Blackmore, and Ian Gillan was out again. He was fired, ending the Mark II lineup. But despite all that, it's a great, great album. You've got Call of the Wild, Bad Attitude, just a couple of cool tracks. And yeah, so Mark II's out. And it was also be the end of Ritchie Blackmore for a time as well, coming up. But that's a look at another different versions of the band coming up soon. So I hope you're enjoying this look at Deep Purple as I go through these different changes and different styles of the band. And every album up to this date has been a killer album. And eventually what I want to do is do a top, my best to least favorite album by the band. So that's going to come up after I complete this series. So that's my look at the Mark III and Mark IV version of the band, and then back to Mark II. I know it's confusing as people come and go, but when you have a big major band like that and individuals that are super talented, conflicts obviously arise, and that's what happens. So anyway, guys, there's my look at Deep Purple. Great band you need to listen to. Check out the Mark III version of the band with David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes. It's amazing. Come Taste the Band with Tommy Bolin, remarkable, and of course back to Perfect Strangers, and House of Blue Light with the original Mark II version of the band. Remarkable, remarkable stuff. Anyway, guys, take care. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.